Hi, welcome to the medians lesson from the straight line topic of higher maths. In this video, we're going to look at just one thing again. We're going to look at finding the equation of a median. And as part of that, you need to understand what a median is and how to find it. Okay, now, a median within a triangle, if you think back to when you've heard the word median in maths before, that is the middle number of a set of numbers. Okay, from stats on P7S1. A median within a triangle is a line that leaves a point and meets the other side at the midpoint. Okay, so here, this point is halfway between B and C. Okay, so that is your equation of a straight line. Okay, again, I'm going to ask you to stop the video and try this. You're looking for the equation of that line. There's all your information. The definition is it has to leave A and hit the midpoint of the opposite side. Go. Okay, perfect. Now I'll just go over that, let you know how we do it. Again, we're looking for the equation of a straight line. So we know that down here, we're going to need this equation, this magical equation, for which we need the gradient and a point. Okay, now we know a point. We don't know the gradient, so we know the 0.16. Let's stick that in. We need to know the gradient now, though. Now, it's not at right angles, so the gradient of BC is not going to help us because it could be at any angle to BC, so it could be any gradient. But we do know this point is halfway between. That is a defining characteristic of a median. That point there, let's call it D, is halfway between B and C. So therefore, we know how to find D. We know it's going to be halfway between the x coordinates and halfway between the y coordinates. Okay, so D is going to be 3, 2. Okay, and if we know D is 3, 2, then we can use that point with A to get the gradient of AD. So the gradient of AD is just going to be 2 subtract 6 over 3 subtract 1. So that's negative 4, that's 2, so it's negative 2. We don't need to flip anything, we don't have a right angle. Now we just know that the gradient of that dotted line. So now we can get on it. Y minus 6 is equal to negative 2x minus 1. Close that bracket. Y minus 6 is equal to negative 2x plus 2. So y is equal to negative 2x plus 8. Okay, there's your equation of the median. Okay, and it's the same all the time. And the reason, I'm sure you'll see already, people get confused between altitudes and medians. It's important to remember which is which. Okay, so that you understand what doing it. And I know I've not saved this yet as medians, but it says altitude at the top, but this is the median one. Okay, there's your note, another example at the bottom there. Take a wee pause, copy it, try the example yourself. I'll go over it in a wee second. Okay, so we've got a triangle ABC and we want the equation from the median from B. So in this diagram here, let's just use it seeing as it's there. We're looking at this situation. Okay, now we know we're looking for the equation of a straight line. So we know that somewhere at the end we're going to be using y minus b equals mx minus a. We need the gradient and we need a point. Okay, we don't know the gradient. We do know the point B though, that's here. So negative 2, 3. Okay, and we need to find that gradient between B and let's call it D again. Okay, now it's not a right angle, so the gradient of AC won't help us, but we can figure out what that point D is. Okay, so D is going to be halfway between the x coordinates of A and C. So negative 6 add 3 over 2. And it's going to be halfway between negative 4 and negative 2. Sorry about that. So the point D is negative 3 halves and negative 3. Okay, now we can get the gradient between B and D. It's not going to be nice because I've got that fraction, but that's fine, that's possible. Negative 3 subtract 3 over negative 3 halves subtract negative 2. Okay, so that's negative 6 on the top. Negative 3 halves add 2 is just a half. So negative 6 divided by half is negative 12. Okay, so our gradient is negative 12. So y minus 3 is equal to negative 12x plus 2. Y minus 3 is equal to negative 12x minus 24. And y is equal to negative 12x minus 21. Okay, that's you. Again, we've got a wee recipe here for you. There's your recipe. Find the midpoint of AC or find the midpoint of your opposite side. Find the gradient from that midpoint there to the point we have, and then use your y minus b is equal to mx minus a. Okay. Any issues, ask your teacher. Cheers.